Hi everyone, this is topical issue once more, and today I'm going to talk of the practice of necromancy and the occult sects. This is part 1. I may have 2 or 3 sessions, so we start from here. I talked in the previous topic about Statunga or destiny stealers, those who are able to steal or change somebody's destiny. I talked of witchcraft and what is happening in the developed countries and the developing countries. There's witchcraft all over. There's witchcraft in Europe, there's witchcraft in America, there's witchcraft in Australia, there's witchcraft in Asia, there is witchcraft in Africa. There is witchcraft. So let's not pretend that we don't know. Because I know there are people and countries that may want to say that there isn't. It has been used to target people. But a fact is that there is witchcraft. I talked of this dark art because witchcraft may be dark according to what happens, and maybe there are times when it can also be helpful to people, those who are not in given religious situations or belief situations. It's possible because there is a thin line between prophecy, seeing the future from the religious side, and divination, seeing the future from the occult, from the witchcraft, from the other sides of the divide. Because there is one thing that I have realized, some of the technologies we are using now, like the phone, like the TV, I said the other time, was psychic and something like that. The medicine we are using in hospital, it developed from that. When the church outlawed this, when things went the other way, but some of the things were developed from there. Today I'm talking about necromancy. Necromancy is known as a dark art where one is able to reach the souls of the dead. We have an example in the Bible where Saul was waiting for a prophet during the war, and it took too long for the prophet to come, and he went to a necromancer, that is a person who is able to talk to the spirits of the dead, and surely they were able to arise the specter of Samuel, and Samuel told him why he had disturbed him, and told him his day and the death of his children will be the following day, which came to pass. So you see, it was from the dark side, it was a true prophecy. We cannot deny the prophecy. The means was, according to the beliefs of the Israelites, true, but the message was true. So who are these necromancers? Necromancers are those people who have studied the science and the art of dealing with the spirits of the departed people, the bodies of the departed people. That is where now the problem comes, because that's why we are getting our problems. And they are able to raise spiritually some of the dead bodies, which were referred to as zombies. People say that zombies are when people are given poison and they go unconscious and they do things like that. But from a few findings and a few talks I've had, either by psychic or things like that, that is the situation. I'm going to talk about a secret organization in Germany during Hitler's time. I think it was called something like Thule or something like that. They were a group of necromancers who used to practice their art in the forest. And after a while, the group disappeared. There are stories of Operation High Jump. They say it's a myth, they say it's whatever. But out of that myth, let's call it a myth or call it whatever, but by the I understand was a real person, and the operation was a real operation. So they talked of a place that they went in called a Crystal City, and they were told of the race of Arianas. Beautiful place. Wherever it is, I cannot be able to tell. In the past, in the Mahabharatas and these other books, the Vedas, we have a city of Lanka, a crystal city in the sky. And that was a city of demons. Lanka, a crystal city in the sky. We have a city of Arianas, Ares, that's how they describe, that looked like people from this earth, a special race of blondes with very high technology. I've been looking at the past stories. We hear of somebody like Methuselah. Methuselah lived for over 900 years, and the people in the past would live for a longer time. God created them and the life was that long. I came to realize that the art of necromancy, from the talks and from the other investigations I've done, from the talks I will hear, because this is the thing I'm bringing. Necromancy is being practiced around the world in occults. Many have discovered that a life can be transferable, just like the destiny can be transferable. That is where the biggest problem lies. And specters can be called to do certain biddings and even be given orders. They can be trapped, they can be enslaved. That is our spiritual part. From my finding, I think living things that we have are spiritual entities that are embodied, and they have a unique thing. They are able to multiply. They are able to multiply. And it may be also with other entities, and there are others which may not be able to multiply. But when we pass on, I'm going to give an example of Jacob or Israel, when he had a tussle with his children, especially Reuben, and when they were waiting to negotiate with him after he had talked to each child, he put his legs on the bed, lay there, and the Bible specifically says his ghost left him. So that is the spirit. So the creator of the universe is a spirit. And when the Bible talks of we are made in the image of God, I think God does not look like me, does not look like you. But there is a substance in us that is shared. It may be even be in plants, but because we've put ourselves so high, we feel that they don't have something like that. There is the living part in everything. That is a spirit. And there are those entities, because we have got entities that have bodies like us. Those we know, leave alone those ones that we've been asking the scientists, are there aliens from other planets? Let's talk of things that have been there. There are demons, If you go to people who have taken demonology, they will tell you of different races of demons. They are genes, not one type, different races of genes. And they are angels. And from the books that we edited, because there are some books that we edited, the book of Jubilee brings a point of what I'm talking about, creation. You can conduct it. Because in Genesis we start, and God said, let us, and everything was there. Let us, and everything was there. Jubilees will give you a different let us. It was a book in the Bible that was edited. You can consult it. A book that is present. It talks of letters, and you can be able to connect the letters and us. But just in the present Genesis we are left in a quagmire. Jubilees and the others were edited. I think in the Ethiopian Bible they are there, because this is also one thing I should bring to the attention of everybody. There is the standard Bible we put. There was a Bible by King Charles. The one we are using is by King James. And there are other Bibles. There are books that were removed. One has about 66 books. That's the one we call the normal Bible. There's another one with, is it 70 something, and the Ethiopian Bible I think are around 81. So there are 3 operational Bibles now, present. And what is a Bible? A Bible is a collection of books. That is what it means in Greek. Ta Biblia. Collection of books. Just like when you go to Hinduism, Vedas. Vedas and Bible have the same meaning. Vedas means a collection of books. Bible means a collection of books. So when we talk of the Bible, it means which collection? Find out. Ethiopian Bible, the normal Bible, the common one, the Catholic Bible, and the Ethiopian Orthodox, something like that, Bible. Some of the books that are removed here are still there. So, as we move on with this, I think I've explained. Necromancers are the people who have mastered that ability. And from the scripts that you've been reading, there may be entities. This is now what I think, and from gatherings that I've had from here and there, because we are busy trying to enact the end of the world. We are busy looking at Armageddon. Everybody is talking about don't do anything. It may be the end anytime. Armageddon is coming. Well, around 2,000 years ago, 2001 year, around 2,000 years ago, Mount Vesuvius in Italy erupted. Two cities were covered by volcanic ash. People died. Herculaneum and Pompeii. Not Bombay. I'm saying Pompeii in the Roman Empire that time. Everybody in the cities died, covered by volcanic ash. And the one who was in charge of the church that time told people, prepare, the end has begun. Jesus said, before the end of this generation, the Christianity had gone on for a long time. Because when Jesus died and resurrected, Christianity began with Judaism, and it was now continuing in the Roman Empire. And even in the other books, they have been told, before the end of this generation, before, you know how long a generation takes. So, it's 2,000 years. Those are several generations. I tried to find out where this anomaly could be coming from. And there was a time I was looking into books, religions, out of interest. And I came to realize that we are reading the Revelation of John. But there were other 19 revelations. I was able to gather that there is a revelation of Peter. I have not gathered what the other revelations are. And each revelation has a different story, a different... others don't talk of that, and others are even talking of hell, like that of Peter is talking of how things will be in hell, whatever and whatever. There are these other 18 books of Revelations that maybe if we look in the archives or that, we may be able to get here and there. And there are these entities that every prophet has been dealing with. And we come to realize from the Hindu stories that others can be able to possess bodies and can also stay in the spiritual realm, possessing everything with life, including plants. That's what demons do. So, our scriptures, we have them, some were edited. But it always leaves one in doubt. Some editions that were edited, you read them and you find actually there was nothing wrong that could have called for this to be edited. It's good that they are there. We can now refer to them. So, question could be, could we be having something that is rushing us to declare an end for ourselves to the advantage of other entities that may be interested in life, that may be interested in taking over the sovereignty of the people that are there? Because one thing about religion is faith. Jesus told us we should have faith. And the end, he explained properly. The foolish man who had harvested, and he said, now I build barns and build whatever. And God told him, you fool, your soul will be needed tonight. So we should live like this is our last day. Be faithful in God, in Jesus. You are the temple. But as human beings and whatever, protect the environment. It has been 2,000 years. Things are going on. Do everything to the best of the future. But if God says it is now, then be prepared for now. We should not relax, sit on our laurels, waiting for the end to come. Because God has got no end. He did not give a specific time that this is the time. He just said there will be rumors of war, and those ones have been there even from that time. Wars, we've had wars, Napoleonic wars, all those wars. There have been wars, there have been earthquakes, there have been these other things. We should not focus ourselves on that. No. Know that anytime you can be called upon. So live like today is your end. But prepare for the future of the children and your future. Make things better. If God will call it a day that time, let it be called at that time. But let's not try. Keep trying the way we are trying, because I'm seeing every country is trying to initiate a third world war, saying we are going in line with the scriptures. We are going in line with prophecy. No, let the prophecies fulfill themselves. That is the message I have. I'll proceed on from necromancy because I have a feeling there are other entities that have been able to do that. We have things that we call myths, but if you follow them, the historical things and whatever things they talk of, the Anunnaki and whatever, those are stories, all right, but you always hear of hundreds of years. We begin with the Bible with hundreds of years. Noah is supposed to be building the ark when it's almost 400 or 500 years old. That is an impossible age to achieve. 500 years. So, could there be other forms that may have gained this? And could there be an influence also in everything that we are doing to program us to that? Mine is take faith. God is there, believe in God, and start living the future if you can. The others will be done spiritually according to the writing, because you find that Jesus said he is going to build mansions. That is from the Christian point of view. But again, the Revelation says 144,000 people will go to heaven, and the rest will stay down here on the new earth, being ruled by those things. So you see, there is sort of a disconnect. There are disconnects in many places, but there is one thing. There is a life after. Believe in that. Because God is eternal, and if he gave each one of us a spirit, because something leaves your body as you are dying. Even if a plant is dying, something leaves its body. And for a Christian, we believe that leaving of the body, Christ will take us. Have that for now. If God will want to wipe out the whole earth, he will at his own time. Nobody can stop it, even if he wants to do it now. So, live your spiritual life like today is your end, but the physical life, prepare for the future, because you don't know how long you'll be there. Be like in the Bible when they say the Israelites had been taken into captivity and people were thinking of going back home. The prophet who had told them, no, relax, marry, build houses, have children, because it will be a while. So let's have the faith, but let's preserve the earth. Do everything as we were commanded by God, to be in charge. Being in charge means being responsible. But be prepared. We can go in time, but know that it may be a very long time. Several generations may go without anything happening. Better yourself and better the next generation, and preserve everything for posterity. And we should also know that there may be other entities that have this knowledge of transferring of souls and lives, and may also be taking advantage of us. So stay with everything open. I'll proceed on about necromancy and these other stories in the next session. For now, that is my take.